is a slight angle at 302. I don't think we keyframed it actually, did we? So that's gone up and backwards. No, because we keyframe it a little bit later on, so I might actually undo that. There we go, and we'll focus on that back leg. Yeah, because that's halfway through its movement. So at frame 10, this foot is 121 high. So make sure I go to the left leg, frame 30, 121 high. Right leg, frame 10, 117. And then finally its rotation, 84.557. Minus 50. None of those are actually keyframed, are they? No. Okay, so they're halfway through a rotation, so we won't worry about keyframing those, we'll just make sure that they're in the right position. But you can see that we've got something that we need to turn off. So I'm going to stick that back down. There we go. So that they are also in the right positions. Okay, we've got a little bit of discrepancy here with that foot, so I'm just going to have a look and see where that's the left foot and what the right foot is doing at 30. So that's at minus 60, 0, 55. There we go. That should be keyframed. And okay, might be able to have a little bit of work on that foot. And then at 35, so the left foot will go back. The right foot will go back. Let's check where the left leg is at 15. Why it's at 35. Good, same position. Then the left leg is at 105. There we go. This is that right foot position, isn't it? It's halfway through keyframing. I'm just going to readjust that. Maybe I don't need any of those on, and I'm just going to adjust the rotation of that one. Maybe so it's just back at 0. There we go. So that I know that when I get to 35, that controller is in the same position, and there isn't. There we go. Everything is as it should be between those two. That's better. So let's focus on that left leg now. So that's up there at 35, at 15 it's moved. So the right leg there is 125 high, 122 high, sorry. And then 85 there. Forward, and then finally we want to look at the rotation. And then if we cross between the two, there we go, we should have the legs being, oh no, the rotation is quite different there. So it's 54. The position different. 122, 428, 85. 122, 428, 85. Have I got something interesting on the right leg controller at that point? Yes, I have. So that's now at minus 60. There we go. Cool. We just need to make sure that we haven't got anything for the hip controller at 15. No. There we go. Now, one of the easiest things to do is to ensure it loops quite nicely, and that's the fact that we've got the last keyframe to do, which is 40. But what we need to do is make sure that its controllers are exactly the same. So to do that, we shall select all of the controllers that we have keyframed. That and that so far. And you can quite happily copy and paste the keyframes from the beginning of the animation to the end, which means if I go from the beginning to the end, you can see that they are in exactly the same positions. So let's press play. Okay, not too bad. We've got this little issue here with this foot going just below. So if you adjust some of his figures, cool, there we go. So if I have a look in 3D, I'm just going to turn off ground shading again. I'm also going to hide his skeletal structures so that we've just got his movements. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, it gives us a nice little walk cycle. You've got his movement of his feet. Okay. It gives us a movement that allows him to feel like he's plodding and walking along. So that's the first stage, okay, and then we can start adding stuff like his arm movements in there as well. So going back, let's get his hands into some decent positions. So, you know, ensuring that they're maybe by his side, not too far down, not too far forward. Using the side views. I might adjust his fingers so that they're curled but not completely open. Yeah, that's okay. I'm just going to move his hand out a bit. I don't want it to be too close to his body. So, there we go. His hand should be back there. So that's where it should be at the beginning. Okay, I'm just going to do some quick tests. So at 20, which is halfway through my animation, I'm going to rotate it up. So he's going to have a very nice purposeful stride. Then at 10, which is halfway, I want it to be down and halfway into his animation. So we should there we go. Actually, I'm going to swing that right out at the beginning of his animation. So at 10, his arm should be fully extended. Cool. You may want to, you know, you've got full access to play with all of this stuff. Just made a little mistake there, so I did it on the wrong keyframe. Cool, and then at 20, make sure his arm is out. And again, you know, you're going to need to check all of his keyframes and make sure everything is equal. So the right arm at 0 is, you know, roughly that, 75, 164, 141. I'm not going to adjust on 75, 141. So the left arm's keyframe there. One, 9, 5 and 5. So let's get the right arm beginning. And I'm going to do this a little bit more by eye. So just going to adjust his hands. And then at 10, ensuring that his arms are down. Maybe what I'll do is delete that keyframe for the controller on its rotation. So looking at the coordinates, I might just unkeyframe that so that the rotation between them is a little bit more natural. It's up to you. You're going to have to sort of play with things like that depending on what you want. So there we go, he gets one side. And then I'm just going to cheat a little bit and copy and paste that keyframe to the end. The same with the right arm controller, so that we know that they are definitely in the right positions at the beginning and the end of the animation. Just have a quick play. Yeah, you can see that that goes a little bit too lally. So ensure that the same frame is at 10 as at 30, and the same there, frame is at 10 as at 30. Maybe you are going to need to adjust the rotations. You can see that there is no real exact science to this. It's very much a case of experimenting and exploring and seeing how this works to give you that character movement, how it is that you want your character to be, the way you want it to look, the way you're going to want it to move. Hide the controls. Ooh, not all of them. I just want to hide the controls and then press play. Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, you're going to have to adjust your rig. We've got some little bits of clipping in here. That's probably the positions of the legs and how close they are together. So you're going to want to do a little bit of adjustments with those. Stuff like the head controller is up to you. You know, if he's swaying from side to side, maybe you're going to want to just, like grab that head controller. So maybe he's there at 0 and there at 20. And then just make sure that you recopy that keyframe to ensure that that loops nicely. You can add all of these little details, as you go. Maybe his head's a little bit forward on that one as well. Just again, re-keyframe. 20, his head's forward, and then at 10 his head's back, and at 30 his head's back a little bit. Okay, and all of this sort of stuff gives him a little bit more life, a little bit more movement. You've got the chest controller, which can add some rotations as well, which can give him some real swinging movements if it's at 0. 20, let's go the other way. Cool. So there we go, we've got this little character. He's got a nice little walk pose going, he's got a little bit of head movement, he's got a little bit of life. You know, you've got access to the controls to do with his eyes. So maybe we want him to have his open eyes all the way up until there, and I'm just going to stick a keyframe in there to ensure that it's moved, that it's definitely at 0, and then a couple of frames later blink, and then at 22 he'll be at 0 again. So if I go back to the beginning, there we go, we've just got a little bit of character blink, and it brings that character to life. It just gives him that little bit of movement. So there is so much stuff that you can play with to bring your character to life, to make him move, make him walk, make him seem happy, walk happily, walk, you know, grumpily, walk slouch. There's all sorts of stuff like that that you can adapt and play with. I'm hoping that this little tutorial is giving you some kind of, you know, exploration and explanation into how to do a little bit of character animation and what all of those controls actually do for your character. Last thing I can do is to give him a little bit of movement. So just to grab my main controller here, this is the master controller, this is what I'm going to use to make him actually walk. So this is sometimes a bit of a guess, but you do get used to figuring out how far he moves. So I'm going to step him back there, and at the end of the animation I'm just going to move him forward. Now Cinema 4D's keyframe thing is going to go a little bit crazy. I'm going to want it to speed up and slow down, whereas his movement would be constant. So selecting that keyframe and choosing linear interpolation, going back to the beginning. Okay, you can see that we've got a little bit of slide going on there. What you can do is you can just grab that and move it back a bit, or forward, depending on, you know, how you want him to move. Maybe you're going to need to adjust his positions a little bit when it comes to his character. Those sorts of things are very much an exploration of your character and how fast it is, and you can see that he's now sliding too much there. Okay, so maybe I shall undo the movements that I've made. Okay, there's a little bit of wobble on his feet. That's to do, I think, with where his positions are. He slides backwards and comes forward. So if we were to expand that, now he slides way too much. There's a little bit of slide still. So all of this sort of stuff is what you learn and how to adapt, how far your character will and won't move. And you may need to go in to adjust the keyframes of your character as well. But you've got the basics of a walk cycle. Okay, there we go, and he plods along happily. Well, again, I hope this has been useful for you, and it gives you a starting point for animating a character. And later on in some more tutorials, I shall teach you how to maybe model, texture, and rig your own. Okay, I shall catch you in those tutorials. Bye-bye.